And when the day of Pentecost was fully come, they were all with one accord in one place. And suddenly there came a sound from heaven as of a rushing mighty wind, and it filled all the house where they were sitting. And there appeared unto them cloven tongues like as of fire, and it sat upon each of them. And they were all filled with the Holy Ghost, and began to speak with other tongues, as the Spirit gave them utterance. Acts 2:1-4. The God of the Bible is no more no less than one of many Anaku, Anunnaki, Anunnaki, Anakim, extraterrestrials who come and go. His craft is carried Quran 40-7. It is carried with others all around it. It is in Nibiru, a mother craft with smaller crafts called Kabad and cylinder crafts called Magala mentioned in Zechariah 5:1-2 as flying rolls measuring 30 feet by 15 feet, a cigar-shaped Kabad craft seen by many even today. And in Exodus 13:21-22 the glory of the Lord, Exodus 14:24, Exodus 16:7 and Ezekiel 1:1-28. I will be disliked and hated because I am incarnated with Pa Hakoktal Hakokat, the actual facts to set the record straight with Wu-Nuup. To state and ask, to show and prove that our people are being lied to. Sadak truth, yet it is not. SABAT lies by misinformed, unknowing leaders. Or those sent to our people who were lost and unable to speak their own tongue, only Anglo-English, watered down to a new dialect of American English, created so they would never be able to break the spellings of Pa Hajay, the spell of ignorance. So, they would read, yet not read. Hear, yet not hear. This was all part of a plot by those who knew the hour was near the year 2000 AD, and marked the end of their 6,000-year dominion. They knew I would come. They looked high and low for my coming. The messenger, Honorable Elijah Muhammad, told all of the best Mulmadu teachers to look for the Nabab Mulmad master teacher in the year 1970 AD, he will be teaching the truth. He said he is living right now, yet is not amongst you here. He will spread pamphlets, he will have a new Arabic. He will have a book, for the Bible and Quran have expired. He will teach of the 76 trillion years of existence. Look for that man once I depart. And when he departed, they did not look for myself, they followed those who sat there that day, each hoping he meant them. Each wanting to be a leader knowing they did not know any more than what he taught. Nothing to renew our lost yet found nation. The United Nuwaubian Nation, the lost tribe of Yamasee, Aborigine people of this Kawak planet, the Nubuns, I am here and I give you that which will shafui heal you inside out and outside in. If only you will put out the light and fire of the Zoroaster teachings of Ibrahim, who became Abram then Abraham then Ibrahim, who made the deal or covenant with Pa Gadad Shalel Nawar Wu Narar, the God of light and fire, who offers Jasad flesh and Damam blood animals and Hamanu humans to these sons of this God by many names and attributes. Led by what they call the King of Kings or ruler of kinsmen and Lord of lords or master of those who master others. These are their end times recorded in their books Apocalypses called Revelation, which speaks to their judgments and torments as the new Babel and Sodom falls. Now that the sixth angel or the 6,000th year came in the year 2000 AD, as Revelation 9:13-14 says, and the sixth angel sounded, and I heard a voice from the four horns of the golden altar which is before God, saying to the sixth angel which had the trumpet, loose the four angels which are bound in the great river Euphrates. The sign of the end is this sixth angel or message, and the 6,000 year would mean the trumpet of Raphael. The rapine blows and lets loose the four messengers who were bound in the great river of the Euphrates Mesopotamian people. These four are Iraq, Samaria, Iran, Pakistan, and Afghanistan. Four Islamic lands who will be at war with New Babel and Sodom, America or Amoritica, land of the Amorites of Canaan. Genesis 15:13-16, Genesis 10:15-19, Revelation 11:8, Genesis 15:13-16, and he said unto Abram, know of a surety that thy seed shall be a stranger in a land that is not theirs, and shall serve them, and they shall afflict them 400 years. And also, that nation whom they shall serve will I judge, and afterward shall they come out with great substance. And thou shalt go to thy fathers in peace, thou shalt be buried in a good old age. But in the fourth generation they shall come hither again, for the iniquity of the Amorites is not yet full. Genesis 10:15-19, and Canaan begat Sidon his firstborn, and Heth and the Jebusite, and the Amorite, and the Girgashite, and Hivite and the Archite and the Sinite, and the Arvadite and the Zemarite and the Hamathite, and afterward were families to the Canaanites spread abroad. And the border of the Canaanites was from Sidon, as thou earnest to Gerar, unto Gaza, as thou goest, unto Sodom, and Gomorrah, and Admah and Zeboimt, even unto Lasha. Revelation 11:8, and their dead bodies shall lie in the street of the great city which spiritually is called Sodom and Egypt, where also our Lord was crucified. Now they are released to kill 1/3 of the people in their wake. They will be a great number when they join as one, some 200 million. This is that hour of 60 years of 230-year times. From 1970 AD to 2000 AD, the first half hour of time, Then from 2000 AD to 2030 AD, the second half hour. And the bull, Russia, and the dragon, China, only wait for the right moment when the eagle is down to strike and bring in Babel and Sodom's final destruction. As all those other nations and kingdoms and countries that live in the image of the devil in its lust and fornication and abomination, only stand off and watch as new Babel and Sodom fall from world power and can no longer protect them. So, they weep and cry the laminating of the weak who received the mark of the beast. It all started with the atomic bomb of Revelation 9, the fifth message, the star bomb that had fallen from the sky to the earth. This atomic bomb is a star. From above the earth opened up and a great mushroom cloud of the abyss rose up when it opened, a smoke. It was like smoke from a gigantic furnace. Even Pa Shamash the sun and much of Pa Patat the sky were blocked by this smoke cloud, or dust cloud from deep in Pa Taha the earth, and many planes flew above it, war planes of the great eagle with smaller bombs that hit the earth and killed many. Those who flew and bombed was only doing as they were ordered in their uniforms, they had the mark of the beast. Those in Asia had suffered so much from the atomic bomb and other bombs. They wanted to die the physical death, yet the radiation was in their very genes to be born in their offspring to this day. So, death eluded them, the people of the dragon, not to be mistaken for the wicked dragons of Drago or reptilians. So, the great empires of the dragon, the yellow seed, wait for their day of revenge to come, when the pale white eagle is weak as it is now, to strike for that atomic bomb. It was the Germans who were at war with America then, and it was these same Germans who came to America, and being Caucasoids, they were accepted by American Caucasoids. The Germans taught the people of this new Babel and Sodom how to build the atomic bomb, and so, the Caucasoids decided not to bomb Germans, yet to bomb Asians. For this reason, the Asians or yellow seeds knew that the Mirapu Europeans or pale red to white seeds worked as one as a race. For this, they now as the world power, China, plan their plan of revenge, and the bull, Russia, will help bring down the white eagle. Matthew 24:28, for wherever the carcass is there will the eagles be gathered together? And you read Matthew 24:29-31, these are the signs of those days and time, the first and second world wars of the Caucasoids. As they know there will be a third world war with others. As recorded in their Bible Revelation 10, which speaks of the little book or last testament, the Quran, given by a mighty angel of light, Gabriel to Ahmad ben Abd Allah, the founder of the religion of Islamism, based on the little book he received called Al-Quran, the Quran the reading. And this book Al-Quran sounds good or sweet in the mouth, yet it is bitter truth to the Jewish and Christian world. Revelation 10:1-11. Matthew 24:29-31, immediately after the tribulation of those days shall the sun be darkened and the moon shall not give her light and the stars shall fall from heaven and the powers of the heavens shall be shaken. Then shall appear the sign of the Son of Man in heaven, and then shall all of the tribes of earth mourn and shall see the Son of Man coming in the clouds of heaven with power and great glory. And he shall send his angels with a great sound of a trumpet, and they shall gather together his elect from the four winds from one end of the heaven to the other. And Revelation chapter 11 speaks of the seed of Abraham and the three religions spawned from him. 1. Mosesism, 2. Jesusism, and 3. Mohammedism, and how those of Mosesism, Jews, and those of Jesusism, Christians, are to exclude the third or Mohammedism, Al-Islam, and Muslims. They call them heathens or Gentiles. It all started with a 42-month war between Arabs and Jews on borders for land called the Three-Day War. As American or Euro-Americans gave Arab land over to Euro-Jews in Palestine given by the United Nations, Europeans helping Europeans. As you read Nuwapians, Revelation 11:7-9, Sodom and Egypt. The Palestinians are from Egypt. Genesis 10:14 as Philistines. Revelation 12 speaks of the fallen angels and Christians and how they will come down to earth and say woe to the earth and the sea, because the devil has come down to earth and he is very angered, because he knows from Jesus' time 2,000 years ago he only has that much time left from year 1 to 2000 AD, which is 6,000 Adam's calendar. And Revelation 13 speaks of this devil as a man, and the spread of witchcraft in those with his mark, leper, and his number 666, and how the Dragonians, the reptilians, gave them power. The one wounded, who did not die, was Ronald Wilson Reagan. Note his name is 666, add up the letters of his name. He incorporated the Church of Satanism and was a head, just one of the heads of the Beast Nation, a governor, who had the fatal wound. His wound was healed while the whole world was astonished and followed this human head of the Beast Nation who was into Wiccan white magic. And on up to this day Revelation 14, 15, 16, 17 and 18 speak of their history. And their fall has fallen, and chapter 18 speaks to their state now. As it says that angel of lightning who lit up the earth with his glory. And now they see the new Babel and Sodom has fallen, and America has become a dwelling place for physical and spiritual devils. It's a place of sickness and disease, of liars and killers of all kinds. It is a place where all demons and foul specters are trapped and cannot cross over to the Ka-Atapal spirit world, and have become lost souls and lost spirits, ghosts and demons full of evil, hatefulness and wickedness. The pale eagle is sick and dying. And all those nations who Shamba drunk of her short-lived fame of 400 years, the wrath is upon them too. For its fornication, the rulers of foreign governments, who sided with New Babylon and put on uniforms and committed murder and evil with it, for wealth or luster in its open lust. They offer their Bahu souls for luxuries and lust. They who are of Pa-Nagar Salal the Negroid race lose their souls. Matthew 16:26, For what is a man profited, if he shall gain the whole world, and lose his own soul? Or what shall a man give in exchange for his soul? So I, Pa-Nabab Yaa-Nun and the Master Yaa-Nun say to you, come out of her, my people as Yamasee natives of your own nation. Come out of it in the Negro American nationality, return to your own, so that you are not partakers of its sins and that you do not catch her many mental and physical diseases. As it says, the rulers who have committed wickedness and evil, fornication and live deliciously with it, they will cry and mourn and lament for America as they see the smoke of it burning. They will not help it any longer, only stand far away on their own land saying finally that great country New Babylon in 1 hour 60 years from 1970 to 2030 AD, is being Denuna judged, and all those merchants of this Kawak Taha planet Earth will cry and mourn because no one will buy their goods anymore. European country after European country will be bankrupted. Whoa! Whoa! That great country America, New Babel and Sodom in 1 hour such power and wealth has been brought to ruin because of its racisms, its hates, its evils. By its wiccanism, its sorceries of Laban Maga's white magic were all nations and countries of people Nashusha deceived. As the 1/3 of the heaven defected of the angels also 1/3 of the earth died. As there was 300 Ikiki sent to the lower skies to watch over the Adamites. And 200 of them decided to come down and rape the daughters of Enosh, son of Seth, son of Adam. Those 200 were cast into Ketetel physical form and became cherubim. Of the 300 watchers Erim called the Ikiki, 200 did come down and have evil wicked offspring of humanoid females. These were called Nephilim because afterwards they were sent to stay on earth. First to Asaka land Nuud-Nod, then spread and mixed to stay on earth 6,000 Shamatot years in Jasad flesh and Damim blood, which they did eat both animal and human flesh. And as for the other 100 who did not come down of the Lirim because they did not warn Anu of what the 200 planned, they were also cast out and down to earth yet not allowed to take human form, only as Ka spirit form, and these became evil demons who torment humans as ghost demons. Some will have sex with humans as they dream and Noam sleep. Some will haunt homes and hurt person physically in many ways and take over and enter a body to abuse and use it. They can't natch speak yet they groan and roar as monsters, they scratch the flesh, leave scars. They will even make a person bachel kill themselves then take their body. They see the intoxicated, the drunk who are easy to enter if they push and shove them or make them fall or to have an open cut with blood which attracts them as a gateway into the body. They will even get into a child yet can't stay past 3 a.m. When the death gates, the 9 gates of death are tattoo open, they run to try and cross over. They take shadow or mist form, yet, can't take human form as ghost. Only if a human body is very deformed, they'll steal that image for a moment only to frighten the living. It's a form of reflected light. They roam grave sites and sites of war and much Mawat death. The 100 fallen ones unlike the 200 cannot nazzle incarnate yet they haunt people, places even things such as toys with living images. They come and appear as orbs of Nawar light as well. Not all orbs are wicked and evil, only the 100 who have multiplied to 100,000 over the 6,000 years and visit churches to enter those who ask for the Holy Ghost to come into them, and they do for that walk of time. Now you have Haman Jananu human devils, Sa'au sons and Sa'atachu daughters of the 200, who also multiplied to 200,000 and still multiplying. And you have spirit devils, the 100 who did not warn Anu the Most High, Anaku, Anunnaki or Anakim, that these 200 was about to create the original sin. So many people open themselves up in Zamat religions they don't overstand. What most call angels or holy spirits, Holy Ghost, is called Malak, Malak, who are Malak, Milcom, Melech, extraterrestrials, be they Elohim, Alihad, Jinn, Shaitan, Ifrit, Ghoul, Tahuot, Iblis, Kafir, Baalim, Lirim, Naphilim, Gibberim, Cherubim, Igigi, Anakim or Raphaini. All these are Muziad Muthahialu extraterrestrials, which come and came to Earth for their own purposes. And some did genetic work on apes and Zazazu men while some used their own DNA, some by Gasub rape, some by grafting, and made the Muadamu Salal Adamite race of Laban Shekasu white people only 6,000 Shamatot years ago by Gasub rape and mixing. Most don't have a clue of who they are, how they were made or even why. Those of the Mu'adamu Salal Adamite race who do know or find out, do everything to cover up or hide the Sadak truth. This is why they make war with parts of the earth where Qadam ancient facts are uncovered, such as Iraq, Egypt, Libya, Jordan, Yemen, Ethiopia, Syria, Iran, India, and Jerusalem. While some fight, others are there to destroy tablets, other scrolls and artifacts that tell the real story, not what he teaches as his story, history. He does not want the T'Pol world to know he was made from apes, canine and porcines, and is the seed of disagreeable fallen angels, who eat jasad flesh, even human flesh. These are the foul spirits trapped on earth, as you read in Revelation 18, and Nuwapians. Revelation 19 from verse 11 onward speaks of another angelic war and how their Gadadu deities, gods, come to eat human flesh, with a play on words. You must know they are human flesh eaters, such as found in the Bible in many places, cannibalism. In their Yakarat genes, from those sons of Elohim, you read about it in Genesis chapter 6 verses 1 through 5. Genesis 6 1-5, and it came to pass, when men began to multiply on the face of the earth, and daughters were born unto them, that the sons of God saw the daughters of men that they were fair, and they looked them wives of all which they chose. And the Lord said, My spirit shall not always strive with man, for that he also is flesh, yet his days shall be 120 years. There here giants in the earth in those days, and also after that, when the sons of God came in unto the daughters of men, and they bare children to them, the same became mighty men which were of old, men of renown. And God saw that the wickedness of man was great in the earth, and that every imagination of the thoughts of his heart was only evil continually. Yet, when they rewrote the story, they left out much that has been uncovered in the book of Enoch and Jubilee, that their offsprings or Gaharu, Gibber ate their own Kardu children and Menashu parents, recorded in the first book of Enoch chapter 7 1-14. Who was this Enoch? Well, Nuwapians, in Genesis 5:18-24 you read that this Enoch, the Muslims call Idris, was taken by the Elohim gods. They took him up there, Genesis 5:18-24. 1 Enoch 7 1-14, it happened after the sons of men had multiplied in those days that daughters were born to them, elegant and beautiful. And when the angels, the sons of heaven, beheld them, they became enamored of them, saying to each other, Come, let us select for ourselves wives from the progeny of men, and let us beget children. Then their leader Semyaza said to them, I fear that you may perhaps be indisposed to the performance of this enterprise, and that I alone shall suffer for so grievous a crime. But they answered him and said, We all swear, and bind ourselves by mutual execrations, that we will not change our intention, but execute our projected undertaking. Then they swore all together, and all bound themselves by mutual execrations. Their whole number was 200, who descended upon Ardis, which is the top of Mount Armon. That mountain therefore was called Armon, because they had sworn upon it, and bound themselves by mutual execrations. These are the names of their chiefs: Semyaza, who was their leader, Urakabaramil, Akibiel, Tamiel, Ramuel, Danil, Azkiel, Sarakniel, Asael, Armers, Batral, Anane, Zavub, Samsavil, Artael, Terel, Yomiel, Ariel. These were the prefects of the 200 angels, and the remainder were all with them. Then they took wives, each choosing for himself, whom they began to approach, and with whom they cohabited, teaching them sorcery, incantations, and the dividing of roots and trees. And the women conceiving brought forth giants, whose stature was each 300 cubits. These devoured all which the labor of men produced, until it became impossible to feed them, when they turned themselves against men, in order to devour them, and began to injure birds, beasts, reptiles, and fishes, to eat their flesh one after another, and to drink their blood. Enoch recorded what he was told to write into the lost book of Enoch. Why lost? Because the Adamite seed did not include this book in what you call the Bible today, because it tells their true story and explains why in Genesis 6:5 it says they are wicked and evil by their very nature. That means the mixture of Adamites with the Nephilim birthed evil children called Gibberite, evil by nature. These are Adam's son, Seth's son, and Enos' offspring by the sons of the Elohim. They don't want you to know their Elohim, their Yahweh, is evil and had children, that are Da'u evil who did not die in the Gomar flood. As you read in Genesis 8:21, after the Gomar flood they were still evil, as it says. Genesis 8:21, I will not curse the ground any more for Adamite's sake, for the imagination of Adamite's heart is evil from his youth. So, they were still evil by nature or from their youth after the Gomar flood of Noah. And to find out what race this is, one only has to look up the Hebrew name Adam, same as in Arabic Adam. In Hebrew Strong's number 119-132 you will see it says flush turn rosy, ruddy, red, reddish, red spots. This is the pale race, the white race or lepers. As you see in Leviticus 13:1-59, you read this and it describes the name Adam as a race with Beresi leprosy. Even yellow thin fur, freckled. And yes, it says their flesh, bright spots, even white. No doubt which race is Adamites. So they try to hide these Hakakat actual facts and have hid books such as the Book of Enoch and the Book of Jubilee 5:1-10, which records the story of them being cannibals. Book of Jubilee 5:1-10, and it came to pass when the children of men began to multiply on the face of the earth and daughters were born unto them, that the angels of God saw them on a certain year of this Jubilee, that they were beautiful to look upon, and they took themselves wives of all whom they chose, and they bare unto them sons, and they were giants. And lawlessness increased on the earth, and all flesh corrupted its way, alike men and cattle and beasts and birds and everything that walks on the earth, all of them corrupted their ways and their orders, and they began to devour each other. And lawlessness increased on the earth, and every imagination of the thoughts of all men was thus evil continually. And God looked upon the earth, and behold it was corrupt, and all flesh had corrupted its orders, and all that were upon the earth had wrought all manner of evil before his eyes. And he said that he would destroy man and all flesh upon the face of the earth which he had created. But Noah found grace before the eyes of the Lord. And against the angels whom he had sent upon the earth, he was exceedingly wroth, and he gave commandment to root them out of all their dominion. And he had us to bind them in the depths of the earth, and behold they are bound in the midst of them, and are kept separate. And against their sons went forth a command from before his face that they should be smitten with the sword, and be removed from under heaven. And he said, My spirit shall not always abide on man, for they also are flesh, and their days shall be 120 years. And he sent his sword into their midst, that each should slay his neighbor, and they began to slay each other till they all fell by the sword and were destroyed from the earth. And their fathers were witnesses of their destruction, and after this they were bound in the depths of the earth forever, until the day of the great condemnation, when judgment is executed on all those who have corrupted their ways and their works before the Lord. This is why they offered their cherubim gods jasad flesh and dammim blood offerings in Leviticus 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10, also why you see their God Lord visits Abraham with 2 angels and eat the flesh of a calf, Genesis 18:1-8. Yes, the God and angels of the Bible and Quran ate flesh and drank blood. This is recorded in the books and passed on to their offspring, the Hebrews and Israelites.